Hello, radiant soul of Leo. I'm Luna Celestine, and if you found your way here, it's because your spirit has sensed something quietly shifting beneath the surface. This week, your entire energetic landscape is being shaped by a single, profound astrological event. Venus, the planet of emotion, love, beauty, and soul-level desire, is moving into Cancer, entering your 12th house. And though this may not sound extraordinary at first, it holds deep, hidden power. You see, the 12th house is not about the outer world. It is the realm of what lies beneath, the subconscious, the forgotten dreams, the silent prayers whispered into the dark. When Venus enters this space, she does not arrive with fanfare or promises of instant success. She arrives like mist before sunrise, like a song you forgot you knew, gently awakening something sacred inside of you. This isn't a week for grand gestures or loud declarations. It's a time for private revelations, for emotional restoration, for looking in the mirror and finally seeing not just your image, but your worth. As Venus travels this hidden path, she asks you to pause and remember who you were before the noise, before the world told you what to want, what to look like, what to become. She invites you to come back to the soft center of your being, where your truth has always lived. You may feel more sensitive than usual, more nostalgic, more easily moved by music, memory, or the kindness of a stranger. Let it happen. This is the kind of softness that doesn't weaken you, it rebuilds you. And yet, with all this inner beauty comes the challenge of being misunderstood. The 12th house is often called the house of undoing, because when we go inward, the world outside sometimes grows impatient. You may feel the urge to explain yourself, to prove something, to show that you're doing just fine. But Leo, this is not the time to perform. This is the time to feel. This is the time to retreat, reflect, and allow Venus to show you that your inner world is just as valuable, if not more, than your outer one. So take this week gently. Don't rush. Don't post too much. Don't reveal every dream before it's rooted. This is a time to nurture what's quietly blooming inside you, not to shout it from rooftops. Keep some things sacred. Let the mystery work through you. And know that by the end of this transit, you won't just be seen differently, you'll see yourself differently. Until next time, take care of your inner light. It's leading you home. And so, dear Leo, while the 12th house is often misunderstood, associated with isolation, endings, and the intangible, Venus here is not a weakness. In your case, it becomes a quiet awakening, a soft unraveling of everything you've outgrown. This placement isn't asking you to fight or prove. It's asking you to feel, to listen, to tend to the forgotten corners of your heart, because from that silence, something beautiful begins to rise, not loud, not immediate, but loud. This is your invitation to turn inward without shame, to rest without guilt, to finally explore the emotional and spiritual parts of yourself you've long neglected in the rush of doing, achieving, showing up for others. Let your dreams breathe again. Let your inner artist, healer, mystic, or lover come forward. Whether you're investing in your spiritual growth, nourishing your emotional body, or reconnecting with a sense of purpose that feels like it's been sleeping beneath the surface, this is your time. Leo, when you allow this softness to lead you, you'll find that true confidence doesn't come from applause or validation. It comes from knowing yourself deeply. It comes from honoring the unseen work you're doing right now, the clearing, the healing, the remembering. And though the world may not yet recognize it, this inner glow will speak louder than words soon enough. Let Venus show you that beauty begins not in the mirror, but in the soul. And as this internal shift takes root, you may begin to notice subtle urges rising within you, urges that don't come from ego or ambition, but from alignment. This isn't the kind of drive that pushes you out of fear or comparison. It's the kind that pulls you because something inside you knows it's time to invest, not just emotionally or spiritually, but tangibly, in your future, your security, your long-term vision. You may feel drawn toward real estate, the stock market, or even precious resources like gold and silver, not because you're chasing wealth for its own sake, but because you're finally beginning to understand your worth. You no longer want to live small or play safe. There's a new clarity forming, one that invites you to build something solid beneath the dreams you've carried for so long. This energy also flows into how you show up in the world. Leadership is no longer just a title or a role. It's a responsibility you feel ready for. Whether it's in your career, your studies, or your personal life, there's a quiet command awakening in your presence. You're not just learning facts. You're learning how to lead from truth, from experience, from the deeper wisdom that this Venus transit is bringing to the surface. You might feel more eager to pursue knowledge, more open to learning and unlearning, more curious about the systems that shape your life. It's not about proving you're the best. It's about becoming someone who knows where they stand and why. And with the sun now shining brightly in your sign, this becomes more than just a possibility. It becomes power. The sun, your ruling force, ignites your natural charisma, your life force, and your creative brilliance. It enhances everything Venus is working through on a soul level and brings it forward into action. This is not the time to doubt your gifts. This is the time to refine them, sharpen them, and prepare to use them. The world may not see the full picture just yet, but you are beginning to. You are remembering who you are, not just as someone who shines, but as someone who leads, who builds, and who grows from the inside out. And that is where the real transformation begins. But even as your light strengthens and your clarity deepens, Leo, you are being asked to move through this time with discernment, not fear, but awareness. Because when your energy begins to rise, when your spirit starts glowing from a place of truth and not performance, it becomes magnetic. And that magnetism doesn't just attract support, it can also draw in projections, envy, or unconscious resistance from those who have not yet met themselves on the level you're now discovering. This is where the concept of the evil eye or energetic interference becomes more than folklore. It becomes a real, subtle force you may feel through sudden fatigue, blurred boundaries, or unexplained irritability. It's not something to obsess over, but something to respect. Your growth is sacred, protected as such. This is not the week to shout your plans from the rooftops or to broadcast your breakthroughs before they've taken root. Hold your vision close, like a flame cupped in your hands on a windy night. The more quietly you nurture it, the more power it will carry when it's ready to be seen. There is spiritual maturity in silence, and right now, your silence can be more protective than any shield. Don't mistake this for hiding. This is sacred strategy. Let your actions speak when the time is right. Let your radiance reveal itself without explanation. Physically, you may also notice a certain sensitivity around the eyes, dryness, tiredness, or an unusual heaviness behind them. The 12th house governs the unseen, and sometimes as your inner sight sharpens, your physical eyes bear some of that weight. Rest when needed. Avoid excessive screen time. Be gentle with your senses. This is your body's way of reminding you that not everything must be taken in or responded to. Sometimes the most powerful choice is to close your eyes, tune out the noise, and return to your inner knowing. Because that's where your real protection lives, not in fear, but in quiet alignment with your truth. And in times like these, when your energy is shifting, when you're walking between visibility and vulnerability, when the soul is stretching in ways the world can't yet see, it becomes not only helpful, but essential to anchor yourself through spiritual practice. This isn't about following rituals for the sake of routine. It's about creating a daily rhythm that reminds your nervous system, your heart, and your spirit that you are held, guided, and protected. Whether that means reading sacred texts in the quiet of dawn, reciting prayers with intention, or simply sitting in silence with your hand over your heart, the act of connecting inward becomes your compass. You don't have to prove your belief. You only need to return to it again and again, especially when the outer world feels loud or unclear. Leo, you are a fire sign, born to radiate, to create, to inspire, but even fire needs a vessel to keep it from burning out. This is your time to build that vessel with care. Think of spiritual practice not as a chore, but as nourishment, like water to a flame, like shade to a tree that's been standing too long in the heat. And if you feel energetically exposed or emotionally tender, consider working with natural tools that support your field. Blue sapphire, in particular, holds a powerful frequency of truth, clarity, and psychic protection. It doesn't just shield your energy, it reminds you of your inner authority. It brings a quiet confidence that cannot be shaken by outside opinions or unseen forces. Wear it with intention, not as decoration but as a symbol of the deep inner work you're committing to now. More than anything, this is a week to remember that your power does not come from how loudly you speak or how brightly you shine. It comes from how deeply you trust your inner rhythm, how quietly you stay rooted in truth, and how courageously you continue, even when no one else understands the journey you're on. You are not lost. You are deepening. And that, Leo, is your real brilliance. And so, as we near the threshold of this powerful Venus transit, remember this: the window of transformation doesn't last forever, but what you do within it can echo far beyond its end. From July 31 to August 25, you are moving through a sacred corridor, a brief but potent cycle where invisible forces align in your favor, not through external validation but through inner illumination. This is not the time to wait for permission. This is the moment to show up for yourself in quiet, consistent ways that no one else may even notice. But you will. The inner work, the emotional healing, the dreams you dare to admit to yourself during this transit, they will form the foundation for what's coming next. In love, this period softens your heart and opens you to vulnerability, not as weakness, but as strength. The kind that invites real connection and genuine intimacy, the kind that releases old wounds and allows space for something new, more aligned and emotionally nourishing. In career and purpose, you may feel pulled toward roles or projects that don't just offer prestige but meaning, where your voice and presence can truly make a difference. And in your inner life, a quiet revolution is beginning. You're shedding layers you didn't realize were holding you back. You're becoming someone more honest, more grounded, more rooted in your own truth. But this isn't the end of the story. It's the prelude. Because just as Venus moves through the hidden corridors of your soul, Mars is preparing to shift. In the week ahead, Mars, the planet of action, drive, and fierce forward movement, will change position. And with it comes a surge of momentum that will activate what you've quietly cultivated in the dark. You may not feel it immediately, but know this: everything you tend to now, every emotion you heal, every belief you rewrite, Mars will take it and move it forward in ways you didn't expect. Where Venus whispers, Mars declares. And soon, the internal strength you've been building will have its moment to rise, to be seen, to lead. So take this time seriously. Honor the stillness. Don't rush to exit the cocoon. Something sacred is being woven inside you, Leo, and the fire that comes next will need a soul strong enough to carry it. Let this be that soul. So as we close this sacred reading, Leo, take a moment to breathe. Not just with your lungs, but with your spirit. This week is not about chasing more, proving more, or forcing clarity where there is none. It's about allowing the quiet to speak. It's about trusting that even in stillness, you are moving. Even in uncertainty, something beautiful is unfolding beneath the surface. Venus in your 12th house is not a detour, it's a homecoming, a chance to meet yourself without the noise, without the mask, without the pressure. And what you find there, your softness, your wisdom, your unshakable worth, is what will guide you through everything that comes next. You don't have to be ready for the world just yet. You only have to be present with yourself. That is enough. Let this week be your retreat. Let it be your reset. Let it be the beginning of a deeper, quieter kind of strength, the kind that no one can give you and no one can take away. And remember, your light doesn't need to be loud to be seen. Sometimes it's the softest glow that carries the deepest truth. Until next time, take care of your heart, Leo. It's preparing to lead again, and when it does, you'll be ready.